If you could have an unlimited supply of anything, what would it be?
Cheeseburgers.
What animal would you want to be?
A rich person's dog.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of First and 10 presented by JCPenney. I'm your host, Haley Sutton, and today I have one of the newer faces in the franchise. I'm joined by linebacker Anthony Barr. Anthony, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
No doubt. How you doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you for asking. I'm going to start with the game that we just wrapped up with. You got your first sack in that one.
Yep.
How good does it feel just to get back in the groove of things, especially coming off of an injury?
Oh man, it was great. Yeah, it was a longer road than I expected to get back, but just happy to be back on the field with the guys, flying around, happy to contribute, obviously happy to get a win, so good all around, looking forward to building on that and what's to come.
How frustrating is it? I mean, I know this is probably such an obvious question, but how frustrating is it to deal with something like a hamstring injury where it's one of those things that just kind of takes time and to get better?
Yeah, I mean, all injuries suck. You know, it's an unfortunate part of the game, but, you know, I've been through far worse. You know, fortunately, this was a minor hamstring, but those things, like you said, take a little more time depending on the situation. So happy to feel better, more like myself, and looking forward to remaining healthy throughout the rest of the season.
Did you get a chance to improve on anything during that injury period, maybe watching film or something that maybe was different from being on the field?
Yeah, I just think anytime you have a chance to self-scout and kind of take a step back and kind of look from an outside looking in type of perspective, you can kind of critique yourself in a unique way, which maybe you can't do while you're in it in the moment. So give me a little better perspective, things I knew I could get better at and correct, and going to learn from my mistakes in the past and fix those going forward.
I know you wanted to suit up against your former team whenever you guys were on the road in Minnesota, so obviously that was, I can imagine, pretty frustrating. But what were your emotions like, even just getting to watch your new team face your old team and then getting the win? Just what was the emotions in that?
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, I didn't really know I had never been in that position before, so I was feeling kind of strange going into the week. I was really dying to play in that one. I tried my hardest to get back for it, and maybe a little too hard, you know, where I tweaked myself. But I was looking forward to that game. I'm really happy that the way we played, obviously. I've never really been a part of a lopsided win like that. I got a lot of love for the boys back in Minnesota, but was happy we came out there and kind of beat them up pretty good. So I'm sure we'll see them again down the road, maybe in the playoffs. So maybe they'll remember that one a little bit.
Ooh, I like a little bit of foreshadowing there. I'm just kidding. I'm not speculating on that at all. But while you were out, you had a guy like Damone Clark step up for you and really kind of grow into the role that he's playing now. And really this entire rookie class has been phenomenal. What is your perspective on these rookies and how have they impressed you this season?
Yeah, they're doing a great job, man. They played a big role in our success, and I think the biggest thing is just their willingness to learn, understanding not to be too sensitive when they're getting critiqued, and asking a lot of questions and taking really good notes. And I think that's kind of the thing for the rookie class. A lot of guys that are confident, self-aware, and curious, and have the desire to grow and learn and get better. Have
you ever been around a group of rookies that has such a healthy mix of like skill and personality the way this
does?
Right.
Yeah, kids these days is crazy. I'm not sure. It's hard to say now. I'm sure maybe if I look back, I could find a few similarities, but this is definitely a unique class, and I'm happy for those guys so far.
This is your first season in Dallas. And I can imagine that the transition from going from an organization where you spent the bulk of your career in to a new place, a new environment. I know Malik Hooker spoke on the challenges of that as well. Can you maybe speak to your transition and what it was like, maybe getting the call that you were coming to Dallas and how you've adjusted since then?
Yeah, it was a little more difficult of a transition and adaptation than I had thought. I just thought maybe I was going to come in and, you know, kind of be a seamless transition, but there's a lot of things I didn't really take into account, you know, moving, especially because I was such a late addition. I didn't really have the springtime to find an apartment, and then once you find an apartment, you got to find furniture, and then you got to find Wi-Fi and cable, and then you got to be like, okay, now where do I go eat? Like, it's all these things, like who's going to do my massages, acupuncture, all these things I didn't really take into consideration, but the team's been really helpful getting me in the right position to find these people to, you know, to provide certain services. And then just schedule-wise, like you do one thing one way for so long, you come in and now things are kind of not flipped upside down, but they're just different than what you're used to. I had to buy in to kind of the way they do things here and kind of put my ego to the side, put all my past to the side, and just really, you know, be present and buy into what the way they do things here. And I finally have adapted to the point where I feel comfortable, and I'm really enjoying my time.
You're new to Cowboys Nation, but you're obviously not new to this league. What is this, your 9th season,
Correct.
10th season?
Yeah, 9th.
9th, okay. What about your skill set has been helpful to a defense that's already, you know, firing on all cylinders, and now you add a guy like you. How have you found your skill set to be a benefit to this team as well?
Yeah, I think I can do multiple things. I've always been asked to do a lot. You know, maybe not one specific thing where you can really focus in on one part of the game. You know, I've asked to cover, rush, play the run, play the pass, all different type of things. And I think as a defense, we try to be multiple. We try to throw different looks at you, different bodies at you. So I really do feel like my skill set fits this defense, and a lot of carryover when I've done in the past, honestly. A lot of similar schemes and play calling. It's really the verbiage that kind of had me stuck at first. You know, we call one thing one name, and now it's a whole different meaning. So that part was difficult at first, but once you kind of get through that, get past that, it's been cool, man. I've had a good time.
What is something maybe that Cowboys Nation doesn't know about you?
Like personal.
Just personality, a hidden talent that you have, or?
Man, probably I'm just a big foodie. You know,
Okay.
I'm really into restaurants and like trying new foods, all type of different foods, cuisines, cultures. Like I travel a lot in the off season, try to kind of put myself in other people's shoes and really diversify my experience. So it's been cool here because a lot of good restaurants. So I'm still finding my ways. There's probably so much I haven't really tapped into yet, but I've had my fair share of good plates. So I'm looking forward to expanding that.
What's been your favorite place you've been to so far? I know that's such a hard question.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good places.
man, I went to this place called Sister last week. It was like this little smaller Italian fusion type cuisine, man, but it was pretty interesting setup inside, but the service was great, the food was really good, man. Ambiance was cool, so checks all the boxes for me.
This journey that you've been on, Minnesota to Dallas and wherever else it takes you in your career, what would you say maybe is your favorite part or a moment that's kind of been a standout moment to you for you in your career?
Man, it's really like the time when you're just with the guys, you know, and the grind. You know, I really think the process is like my favorite part, is just coming to work every day and trying to figure out how are we going to strategize and how are we going to get this win. The wins are great, the playing's fun, man, going to playoffs, that's all good, but I think it's really the times people don't see, you know, the stuff that kind of within the building, inside the locker room, just laughs, bus rides, plane rides, like that's all the stuff I really enjoy, just being with the guys and being one of the boys, man. It's always a good time.
My last question for you, I've been asking everybody who sits down with me, and I know it's been a very short experience for you so far, but finish this sentence for me. My time with the Dallas Cowboys has been?
My time with the Cowboys has been, man, it's been fun. You know, simple as that. It's been fun. I'll say it's been a ride, because it's something I never really expected, something I don't really know where it's gonna go. But I'm just kind of in the car. Put me on the tunes, put me on the aux, and I'll play the tunes, and we'll have a good time getting there. So hopefully it continues going well.
I love that. Put on the aux. All right, this is the fun part. We call this section the final drive, so we're gonna put a minute on the clock, answer as many of these as you can, as quickly as you can, and I tried to keep them pretty simple, so hopefully they will be good. So we've got a minute. You ready?
Let's get it.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
First question, if you could have an unlimited supply of anything, what would it be?
Cheeseburgers.
What animal would you want to be?
A rich person's dog.
Your favorite pizza topping?
Jalapenos.
The last thing you watched on TV?
What was I watching? Ted Lasso, I think.
The last impulse purchase you made?
A 24 count of paper towels.
The first concert you attended. This is great.
It was like my 8th grade musical.
Your first job?
At a vet.
PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
What's your zodiac sign?
Pisces? Is that a zodiac?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Breakfast food or lunch food?
Breakfast.
Dress up or dress down?
Down.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how clean is your house right now?
8.
Something that always makes you laugh no matter what?
Myself.
Perfect. I love that. Right on the money. Anthony, thank you so much. This was so much fun getting to know you. I know Cowboys Nation will love getting a chance, and they're going to try the restaurant called Sisters.
Sisters. Put them on.
All right, there you have it. Sisters is the restaurant to check out. That will do it for us here on First and 10. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.